You know what we don't talk about enough in nursing? The gap. The gap between the version of us that shows up to work and the version of us that exists underneath it all. On the outside, we've got a good grip. We've got a handle on it all. Calm, capable, getting it done. The person everyone relies on, the person everyone turns to. We walk in, we assess, we triage, we adjust, maybe even adjust a little more. What I am saying is this: we figure it out. But on the inside, we're tired, we're stretched, we're carrying far more than we allow anyone to actually see. And if we're really honest with ourselves, we don't always feel the way we are portraying. And that gap right there is the part no one has taught us to pay attention to. Because somewhere along the way, we have learned how to perform our role. But we were never taught how to check in with ourselves inside of it. We learned how to push through, how to hold it together in times of need, how to keep going no matter what. I want to be really clear about something. This doesn't make us weak. It doesn't make us any less capable. It's actually what makes us really, really good at our jobs. But it also means we have gotten really good at overriding ourselves. Hear me on this. This is where it starts to matter, because the longer that gap exists between how you show up versus how you are actually feeling on the inside, the harder it becomes to sustain it. And not because you're not strong enough, but because you are a human being, and no one is meant to live in a gap like that long term. So this is what I want to offer you. Instead of asking, how do I keep doing more, or how do I keep pushing through? What if the question shifted? What if you asked, what's actually going on with me right now? Not what's wrong with me, because what's wrong with me implies that you need to be fixed. And my friend, hear me on this. You do not need to be fixed. The question, what's actually going on with me right now, doesn't require fixing. There is no judgment. It's just asking you to notice. Because when you start to notice, you begin to see the patterns that show up. Moments where you feel steady, moments where you are stretching, moments where you are just getting through and surviving, and moments where you are completely and utterly depleted. This is where everything starts to change, because you're not just fine. You are not burned out. There are so many layers to this that nobody talks about. There are so many patterns to this. There are ways to understand where you are in these different zones without making yourself wrong for it. Because as I already said, there is nothing wrong with you. This is what I call the burnout zones. This is exactly why I created this framework. It is not to label you, but it is to provide you with a language that you do not have. And that language gives you awareness. And when you have awareness, you are able to see what is actually happening and taking place. It is like the biggest weight is lifted from your shoulders. It allows you to start responding instead of just continuing to push through your shifts, your days, and your life. Because let me tell you this, when that gap starts to close, when how you feel internally starts to match how you are actually showing up externally, alignment begins to happen, and everything, I mean everything in your life will begin to shift. You are more present, you are more grounded. You're not just going through the motions, you are actually living them. This doesn't just impact you. It impacts your patients, your team, the way you communicate, the way you lead. It changes the entire energy and environment around you. And to the leaders who might be listening to this, you probably already know this, but your nurses are not lacking commitment. They are so insanely committed, which is why they are where they are. They're navigating that gap every single day. And my guess is you are too. And the more we understand it, the more we can continue to build environments and systems that actually support the human inside of it. So this Nurses Week, I am not asking you to do more. I'm inviting you to notice more. Where are you really? Not the version everyone else sees, the version that only you feel. That awareness is where everything begins to shift. That is how we begin to do this differently.